Welcome, Juliet, and
Nice.
welcome to anyone who is watching this in the future. The idea behind the interview with you today is, we're not quite normal because we choose to share our sort of ethical journeys online, and not everyone does that. But, for argument's sake, you are a normal person doing what they can, and you're sharing your journey, which is brilliant. So that's why I thought a great idea would be to interview you, because in the community in the future, I want it to be, we can all share our experiences, learn from each other. And yeah, starting with you, and it seems so crazy to me that we connected 3 or 4 years ago now.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and now you're touring all of Europe with your family, being eco on the road. But
Yeah. Oh, can you still hear me? My earphones just did a funny little thing.
yes, you're fine.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Well, a brief introduction to you for everyone else. Juliet runs a community for eco-conscious Kiwis. This is all over on her Instagram and is totally for free. And she shares great eco news, tips that we can all enjoy, and heaps more. It is pretty new, started a couple of months ago in July, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so far so good, learning lots of things, and it's usually stuff that you can implement really easily, which is great. And something I do love about your Instagram is that you say there's no adverts, which is honestly really good because sometimes you think people's views can be skewed by ads, and to know that that will never be the case is actually really
Yeah.
brilliant. So go and follow
Yeah.
at The Great Eco Journey if you're not already.
Thank you.
There we are,
I
plug,
have been there
plug
with
done.
I have been there with the adverts in the past, and over time I've just decided it's just not me. I don't want to be paid to promote products. I'd rather just promote the ones that I really want to promote.
Yeah, I think a lot of small businesses especially will really just appreciate that it's a really just, I'm saying really a lot, but a real review, it's not going to be pressured into anything because you were paid to do it or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
There are,
absolutely.
of course, lots of people who will get sponsors and stay honest. But
Yes.
for me, for example, like I won't agree to a sponsor that I know I'll only agree if I really like the product already. Like I don't want to risk it because I'd hate to be dishonest, but I'd also hate to say something bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I know.
That's
Yeah,
my own quandary because it's a small business and might just be not right for me, but right for someone else. Anyway,
yeah.
enough about me. I want to go back to you, the beginning of your ethical journey. What first got you focusing on making changes? Were you eco-friendly all your life, or was there something that sort of triggered this for you?
Yeah. So I think until just over 4 years ago, maybe getting closer to 5 now, we anything sustainable that we were doing prior to that was kind of accidentally sustainable. Like we were doing it for other reasons, really. Like I used beeswax wraps, but that was because I thought they were really cute and uh, I could keep using them, so I didn't have to keep buying more cling film, that kind of thing. And I made my own cleaning products, but again, that was more of a money saving thing.
Yeah.
So it was about 4.5 years ago that I think all that really happened is I stopped ignoring everything that had already been there. So basically, I was scrolling through Facebook one day and a video came up of what looked like sort of a trash covered field or, maybe a landfill or something like that. And I wouldn't have even clicked on it because I'd seen stuff like that before and I just was quite happy ignoring all that side of things.
Yeah.
But then it started auto playing. And if it wasn't for autoplay, honestly, I think my life would be quite different now because I saw that it wasn't a field or a landfill, it was the ocean. And for some reason, that little video of just the absolute trash infested ocean really
Mm,
caught my attention. Whereas all the other little videos I'd seen or little images, I'd managed to just kind of, sweep them to the side. But for
yeah.
some reason, this one really stuck in my mind. And I think it was that very night I said to my husband, I feel like we need to start making a bit more of an effort when it comes to sustainability. Like, you know, we've been hearing all the stuff on the news, we've been talking, you know, heard other people who are doing things, and we've just avoided making any changes in our own lives. And he was just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Along for the ride.
I'll go along with what you're thinking about. And so what we decided was, rather than trying to turn our lives upside down, we would just make one change. And the first change we made, this was before New Zealand did the plastic bag ban. The first change we made was to start using reusable bags. We already had them, like we'd accumulated them over the years, but we just were really slack with them. But we just made kind of a deal that we would not get another plastic bag. And so if we didn't have our reusable bags with us, we would have to carry the food, carry whatever it was, or go back to the car and get the reusable bag. And within like 1-2 weeks, it was so easily incorporated into our lifestyles. We just, I mean, the main thing we did that I think most people have figured out by now is that after we unload the groceries, we just put the bags straight back in the car.
Nice.
Because otherwise you sort of say, oh, I'll put them back in later, and they don't make their way back in. And and plus I have a little bag in my handbag. Back then we had small children, so we always had a bag or two under the pushchair, in the bike basket, all that sort of thing. And honestly, within a week or two, we were just like, oh, well, that was actually really easy. We've avoided doing it for years, and it was so straightforward. So we decided to make one more change. And that's pretty much how things work for us. We made one change at a time over about 3 years. And over the course of 3 years, we ended up making more than 50 small changes to our lifestyle, which at the time felt like no big deal. But when you put 50 no big deals all together, it is a big deal. And it made a huge difference to the amount of waste that we were producing.
That's so cool that you can monitor it was 50 plus things. Wow.
But just all tiny things, you know, like reusable bags, produce bags, beeswax wraps, you know, there's so many things, and some of them make a tiny difference, some of them definitely make a bigger difference. Like setting up the compost was a massive one for us in terms of reducing our waste. And there's a few other biggies as well. Soft plastic recycling was another huge one. So it's been 3 years of just gradually reducing our waste. And then we decided to go on. But I think we're coming to that one later.
Yes, true. I'd like to ask what was the thing that was a much better swap than you ever anticipated it being, and what ended up not working for you that you thought would be really great? That could be a product or a different way of doing something.
I think some of the best swaps we've made, which we didn't anticipate being fantastic, were the solid shampoo, conditioner, face wash, all the sort of bathroom bars. I kind of, before we made the change, I just couldn't get my head around washing my hair with a bar of soap. But as soon as you do it,
I agree
that it's not a bar of soap, it's actually shampoo, and that it's just really straightforward. You just lather it through your hair and wash it like normal.
And
that was a really, really good one. Oh, so good for travel. Yes, amazing. Actually, in some of our travels, I haven't been able to. Like, Italy is terrible for sustainable products, and I haven't yet anywhere in Italy been able to find shampoo and conditioner bars. I brought quite a few over with me, but once I'd used them up, I had to buy some shampoo and conditioner. And when we started our travel, that's what we started our actual van travel. That's what we were using, and I was like, oh my gosh, these things have so much room.
Oh, how do people do it?
Oh no, especially if you've got cleanser, shampoo, conditioner, all the bottles. You need 10 10 toiletry bags.
Yeah.
Whereas a little tin with just the different bars in it is amazing.
I
So
feel
that's
you.
been a great one. Growing our own produce has been a great one, and we don't grow everything by any, not even close, but it's something that we've got so much enjoyment out of as a family, as well as reducing our waste in terms of all that packaging. So that's been a really good one. And then the menstrual products has been another fantastic change. That once again, I took a really long time to make that change. I was pretty intimidated by it, and once I did
the
it,
cups can look really scary.
Yeah, and period underwear. I use both, and I would just never go back. Like, it's not just for sustainability reasons. Like, it's just all round fantastic swap to make, and the money that I must have saved I think I've been using them for maybe 3 years now, is awesome. It's just such a cool bonus. Yeah.
I think I worked out that the Hello Cup is something like $52 or something. And after a year, you have paid it off, like from the amount of tampons that you would buy. So you're making money now.
And then you've got like good 9 years of free period products.
All the savings.
Yeah, the savings have been a huge bonus for us. I think a lot of people think that a more sustainable lifestyle is going to be more expensive, but we've saved so much money over time, and that's with a family of 5, that's been a massive bonus for us.
Yeah, so it is 3 kids, isn't it? So do they really enjoy getting involved with the gardening?
Yeah, they do. Well, they enjoy picking and eating it.
Oh,
we've got a strawberry patch, so that's obviously a little favourite for them. But yeah, no, actually they also enjoy, like in lockdown, we managed to plant, we had some seeds that we'd saved, and then when it went to like the second level of lockdown and we were able to buy a few things contactless from the plant shop, we really enjoyed that whole process of the planting, and then it was the tomatoes were the main one, and the thinning them out, and and I feel like they learn so much as well from doing that.
Yeah,
it's cool.
I mean, I think my parents have a veggie patch now, not so much when I was growing up, and so I've just learned from my own veggie patch having it now, and it's great, gets you outside. I thoroughly enjoy de-weeding, that process of cleaning up the garden patch. It's just, it cleanses.
Quite therapeutic.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm still very much learning with that as well. My mum's a great gardener, but I never really got into it until recently. So yeah, it's very, very trial and error. But we're getting there, and it's something we're really looking forward to, about returning back home next year to our house.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Getting back into the garden.
Yeah, it can be quite tough leaving your garden as well.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we've got people living in our house, and they seem to be quite keen gardeners. So I'm hoping that we're not going to go back to a sort of barren patch of dirt.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. And I love that your family is getting involved with it. It sounds like they are pretty involved with each change as it goes on. Have there been any that have been pretty hard to adapt to?
The hardest, the kids are amazing. I guess they're so young and they're so open-minded, and they don't, kids in general are amazing. Whenever I speak in schools, I always leave thinking, oh my gosh, I wish we could just all be like these kids. Like, anything is possible. Whereas as adults, I think we see all the barriers. Oh yeah, no, the kids are fine. They just go along with whatever. My middle daughter in particular likes to call, her name's Eve, and she likes to call herself Eco Eve. And she's like one of the eco ambassadors at her school, and last year she even won this award for all the environmental stuff she was doing at school, and so yeah, she's super into it. And it's good because sometimes you can mess up on the stuff. Like, it's a really good reminder having the kids on board, because they keep you on track, and We can't tell them we're going to do something and then renege on it, because they won't let us live that down. So they're like our little quality controllers. So they're really good. And my husband John has been awesome, because it's very much my thing, not his, but he's the whole kind of journey through. He said, I'll do it. Like, I'm the one who does all the research, and I'm the one who's passionate about it.
Yeah.
But he always says, he was like, it's the right thing to do. So of course I'm going to do it. Like, it's not like you're trying to make us do something terrible. Like,
no.
we're just doing what we should be doing anyway. So yeah. So they've been really good. There are, in terms of things that have been more difficult for us as a family, the one that comes to mind that we just haven't been able to make stick is milk. And we've done all sorts of things. Like, we have bought milk in glass bottles. We've gone to farmers markets to refill bottles, and we've made oat milk. We've done so much.
All the milk.
That's just the things that we haven't been able to stick with.
Yeah.
I think we managed to do it for a month last year. We kept refilling our glass bottles, but it's been too much of an interference in our day-to-day life to have to go to a certain place to get the milk in the glass bottle. And
so I take it you're trying to source dairy milk plastic free?
Yeah, basically. And for a while we had both dairy and oat milk going. But yeah, I don't know why the other changes have stuck, and that's one that just hasn't. And I just think we need a milk delivery truck. I just want to go back to
they need to come back.
The pints of milk in the glass bottle. I know.
Yeah.
So
and they can have all the different milks.
They can do it all. Plan going on.
Yeah. Well, thank you at least for proving you're not perfect.
Well, and there's lots of other things as well, but that's the big one that comes to mind for us. And travel. Travel is something that is so much harder to be sustainable when you're traveling and you don't have all your systems in place. You don't have your compost bin, and you don't, you're very dependent on the recycling systems of the areas that you're in, some of which are amazing and some of which are non-existent. So yeah, we had initially thought that we might try and do this year waste free. And in hindsight, I'm really glad we didn't commit to that, because I don't think it would have been possible.
Yes, the sheer amount of research you'd have to do, and potentially even just totally change your travel plans and not go to certain places.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm curious.
We do
have there been? Sorry to cut you off. Have there been good experiences along your travels? Something that you wish would be implemented in like Australia and New Zealand that isn't yet in Europe?
Yeah, definitely. The bottle recycling systems that they have in the Balkans. So in Croatia, I know they have them in lots of other. I know Germany's really big on them as well. What are they called? The bottle deposit schemes, where you take your bottles back,
money back,
and you put them in the machine. Yeah, and you get a bit of money back. Do you have those in Australia?
No, I passed through Germany before, and my partner was just collecting all these bottles. He would find them in bins and take them with him.
Yeah, we've seen people doing that, and kids love it, because they stockpiling all their bottles, and then all these coins come out of the machine. It's so good. I know it's in the pipelines in New Zealand. It's sort of I think the bill's been passed in Parliament, but the first reading, so there's lots of processes for it to go through.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that is just such a no-brainer. We need to get those going. And also in parts of New Zealand, and I think it's the same in Australia, they have food collections with your sort of household waste, but we don't have them yet where we're from. And being in places that have those, it just makes such a big difference. We compost, so for us it's not going to be a major game changer, but most people don't.
If you don't, then that service is given to you. Less excuses, the better. Make it Stupidly easy.
Exactly, to have your little bin, chuck your food waste and put it out on the street to be collected. Like it just needs to happen.
Okay,
Go back and
here's the big one. I want to find out all about your bin challenge. What is it? Why did you do it?
Yeah, so that was, like I mentioned earlier, about how for about 3 years we just kept making these little changes.
Yeah.
And then we kind of got to the start of 2021 last year. Yeah. And I think a big part of it is this. So this trip we're doing at the moment, for people who don't know, we're traveling for a year, basically. We've left New Zealand for a year. We're mostly based in Italy, but we're also doing, at the moment, we're doing 4 months on the road. So I'm in the UK at the moment. But that whole year away was meant to be in 2021. And of course, COVID, we had to delay it. And I was gutted because we've been planning this since before we had kids. Like we've always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And then we've been planning it more intensely for sort of 2 years, and then to postpone it. And we were postponing it for a year, but of course there was that uncertainty about whether we'd be able to do it in a year. So I guess I had this kind of fall where I was had been so excited. So I needed something new to focus on. And so
you needed something big.
So I threw the idea to my family of us trying to go for a whole year, only filling our wheelie bin once. And at first they were all kind of like, ooh,
that's a bit too far, Mum.
Yeah, but I said to them, if everyone's not on board, we won't do it. Like it's not something that we can do unless everyone wants to. Yeah. So we just had a little chat about what it would actually mean for us. And I think we came to the conclusion that actually, because of all those changes we'd been making for 3 years, it wasn't going to involve any massive changes for us. We were still going to be recycling. And I know that recycling is not the ideal, and soft plastic recycling we do as well. And we still try and reduce all those things. But the bin was separate our one bin was separate to the recycling. And so we just kind of went, okay, cool, let's give it a go. And I don't know, do you want the long story or the short story?
However long your family doesn't mind you being gone for.
No, well, we did it. I think that's the main thing. And I think we learned pretty early on, after like 1 month, we sort of looked in the bin and there was only about that much rubbish in it. We were like, oh, we're not allowed to do this, aren't we? Unless there's some major thing that pops up, we are going to be able to make this work. And we pretty much tracked along. The biggest things that we found that were going into our bin, there wasn't like one main waste source. It was kind of broken stuff. So
because it couldn't be recycled.
Yeah, like junky kids' toys that we already own, that broke and that weren't repairable. Broken coat hangers. I remember like a broken witch's hat from Halloween, things like that. And it was a really cool lesson for us in terms of the whole quality over quantity thing, because it was those poor quality things that were filling up our bin.
So were there many things that you fixed through the year instead of throwing away?
Were there many things? Yeah, I mean, it was really good for us. It made us really focus on mending stuff rather than chucking it out. Oh, I can't remember some of the things we mended now, but over time I became really proud. This is probably not just over the year, this had already been going on in the years prior, because before we started on our kind of eco journey, our go-to was if something broke, it just went in the bin, especially clothing. If there were holes in the kids' jeans, they go in the bin, because it was so much effort to fix them, and you can buy a new pair pretty cheap. And it was one of the big changes that we definitely made, trying to repair things instead of replace them. And it probably took about 6 months of me changing my mindset. And I realized that through that, the kids had completely changed their mindset to the point where whenever something broke, they would come to me or John and say, oh, this broke. Can you help me fix it? How can we fix this? Rather than that, this is broken. Can we get a new one? And that was really cool. I felt really proud of them, and also like realized how easy that change had been for them, just learning through us. If our go-to was to chuck something out and replace it, then that was going to be their go-to. But if we were going to always make an effort at least to repair something, then that was how they were going to see the world as well, and how they were going to see broken things.
That's so brilliant. I can't believe how quickly kids adapt to this stuff, and how much they just learn from you.
They so do. They so do. They're pretty amazing, really. And I mean, I think it's in the same way that our generation, speaking really broadly, we kind of learned through our parents' generation that things were really, because it suddenly became cheap and things suddenly became single use and throwaway. And for our parents, that was amazing because they'd grown up in households where everything was kind of hard work. And so we learned through our parents that things could be disposable, and that you know, how amazing film was. And
oh my goodness,
we kind of have to relearn that, whereas our kids won't have to do that if we just teach them, you know, some more sustainable ways from the start.
And I do love how the sustainable thing to do is usually also the really like cost effective thing to do. Like you buy it once, you fix it, you keep it forever, as opposed to I guess like the generations above us, well, one or two, it used to be that things were expensive, so if it broke, you couldn't afford to buy another one, so you fixed it. Whereas now it's like, well, I can afford to buy another one, it's $5, why would I? As opposed to you know, it's not wasting it, it's not wasting money on another one as well. It's just bringing it back, giving it another meaning, not just a monetary meaning. Now we need to find the value in maintenance, I suppose, valuing it more.
And the beauty of secondhand clothing and hand-me-downs, that it's changing that mindset, that they don't have to be like mothbally, you know, granny clothes, like hand-me-downs for our kids. I love it. I love seeing my children wearing clothes that their big cousins wore, and then knowing that we can pass that down to their little cousins afterwards. And if they get a hole in the knees, we'll add something cool to them. We'll put a funky patch or something on the knees that the kids are really proud of, and it makes the clothing more unique anyway.
Yes, I do love that. I loved that about the visible mending workshop yesterday, the fact that you can take something that's tattered and just make it unique again. I think I've got a jeans that, have you seen the film Easy A with Emma someone in? There's a ridiculously catchy song in it. It goes like, I've got a pocket full of sunshine. And so thinking of that, and so I embroidered a sunshine coming out of the pocket, and so now I love that pair of jeans. Brings a smile to my face every time. I get the song stuck in my head.
That's fantastic. I might feel that.
All right. So you completed the bin challenge. Where did you get to then? What percentage full was the bin at the end?
It was close to full. But it wasn't actually full. I think we had about that much room left at the end.
Could close the lid.
We could close the lid without having to like get in and jump on it and compact it all.
Brilliant. And
it was quite heavy, I must admit. By the end of the year, it was fairly heavy. But that's the thing that was, you know, I talked about broken things. Sorry, to backtrack. Broken crockery and glassware. That was another. And especially because you have to kind of wrap it up for safety reasons, they ended up taking up quite a decent amount of space. And then the other one was, which wasn't so much a big space thing, but it was just something we noticed as a very recurring item, was medical stuff. Pill packets,
Yeah.
plasters, bandages. I broke my finger during the year, and I had to have like these like plastic like splints on my
Yeah.
fingers that be changed once a week, and just was like, oh, there's nothing I can really do with this other than put it in the bin. So that was another one we noticed.
Gosh, I'd love to be your doctor hearing you complain like, oh no, rubbish for my bin.
Can I bring it back to you and put it in your bin, doctor?
Yeah. Will you reuse this? Can I give it to a friend? No?
Yeah, mark it back down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, these things can come out of nowhere. So I assume then you guys don't have the TerraCycle like pill packet sachet recycling? Is that something we do
No,
here?
we do have TerraCycle, but they don't do pill packets in New Zealand.
Oh,
That
damn.
would be cool if they do bring it in, because it is TerraCycle Australia and New Zealand. Like, it's a combined company, so
Yeah.
maybe we do use TerraCycle a lot. That's something that we've found really useful over
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, for all those weird, weird unrecyclable things.
Yeah, we recycle like that's another change that we haven't stuck to is toothpaste tablets. We find them really good for
Oh,
traveling,
yes.
but we just in general, I can tolerate them, but the rest of the family just don't enjoy using them. I think they're so used to that real minty frothiness of toothpaste that, yeah, we just couldn't quite stick with them. So we recycle our toothpaste tubes through TerraCycle.
Mm.
We recycle batteries. That's not through TerraCycle. That's just through a local battery recycler. But yeah, there's a few other bits and pieces. TerraCycle are trialing an old like broken toy recycling scheme in New Zealand.
Wow.
They'll stick with. Yeah, I thought that was quite cool. I'm quite a fan of TerraCycle. I hear people in the sort of eco communities bagging it because it's dealing with the waste rather than dealing with the cause of the waste, the consumerism and the
Yeah.
plastic created. And I so get that, we to reduce our waste, we have to reduce our consumption. But I still think
Yeah.
that recycling schemes are something that we are going to need for a long, long time, if not forever.
Yeah.
So I think
It's
we
a
should support them.
yeah, it's a case of we need more people. That analogy I'll explain in case people haven't. You've probably heard of like the idea that there's a tap that needs to be turned off. Like you're filling up a bath and it's overfilling with water, but in this case plastic and just over making too much stuff. And we can mop it
Yes,
up as
that's
much as we want to with all these recycling schemes, but we need to turn off the tap in order to stop
yeah,
it from overflowing. And yeah,
yes,
TerraCycle is that mop, I suppose. But
yeah,
they are working on something. I think it's called Loop, and it might only be in America, but they are working with the big companies like Nescafe, like coffee, that sort of thing, to make aluminium tins and things that can be reused.
oh,
And
nice.
like a scheme where you can take it back and get it refilled, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh,
And
cool.
it is great to get these, big businesses involved with it. So
Definitely. That whole
that
closing the
excites
loop
me.
is the
Yeah.
ideal, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm skeptical about how recyclable these things really are. But I know from
Exactly.
those sort of tights companies, legwear, that if you collect enough of it, then you can recycle it. It's just if there isn't that need, it won't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on
Yeah.
the same page as you, but I feel like I don't know enough to say for sure whether it's amazing or if it's
Yeah.
greenwashing in any way or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna check and see if I had more questions for you because I asked them a bit a bit out of whack.
Oh, good. It's
Yeah.
because it was all just flowing so well.
All right. The one I'll end on is for anyone else who is deciding to take a year off and travel around Europe, what tips do you have? What have you learned that will help save waste?
Oh, while you're traveling.
Mm.
Okay, it is really hard to reduce waste while you're traveling. But I am a huge, huge advocate of slow travel, which is basically the idea of just rather than trying to see as many places as you can in as little time as you can. I used to be a Contiki tour guide, so I know all about seeing as many places as you can in as little time as you can.
Oh, wow.
It was like 15 countries in 16 days or something like that. So that's a thing of the past for me.
I've done that.
Like the idea of really slowing down and trying to immerse yourself in the places that you go, trying to get to know people, trying to get off the beaten track a little bit and eat in the places where the locals eat and shop at the places where the locals shop. And I mean, we've kind of taken it to the extreme this year because we're staying in one town we've been there for 5 months and we're going back and having another 3 months there. The kids are going to school. They've made all these play dates. They get invited to birthday parties. Our son's joined a football team. My husband he hasn't joined the choir, but he's been invited along to like the men's choir practices, which he said is just he will remember for the rest of his life.
Is it
we have
singing in Italian as well?
Yeah, and like the most beautiful singing. They sing in the church.
Wow.
He said he was sitting there watching them with like tears welling up in his eyes. And we also have a motto, which is just say yes. So when we get invited to things like that, we're sort of like, oh, it was at 9 o'clock at night. He was like, I'd quite like to just go to bed. I'm not really a choir person. Just say yes. And and try and go for the experiences rather than the touristy things.
Yeah, that sounds like a more grown-up way of saying YOLO, in my opinion.
Yeah, yes, it is, isn't it? And there's a song that goes with it, Just Say Yes. I don't know if you know the song. I'm not going to sing it. We usually end up singing it when we're reminding ourselves of our motto.
Oh, that's so sweet. You guys could be a traveling band yourselves.
The experiences we've had by slowing down our travel have been just real once in a lifetime things. Being invited to family dinners and getting to really know people and making friends and learning the language as much as we can. And it's also about respecting the people and the place and the environment of where you are.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest tip I can get, because also when you slow down, you can get to know more about the systems in place, like the sustainability systems in place. So we've found a place where we can take our food scraps. We live in an apartment in Italy, so we can't compost, but we've found a place where we can take our stuff to compost, which you can't really do when you're heading to a new destination every day.
Yeah, if you're on the road all the time.
You don't have to take a year out to embrace slow travel. You can, even if you've only got a week's holiday, it's about like maybe just go to one place for the week and enjoy that one place rather than trying to fit in 2 or 3 or 4 places in that 1 week.
My goodness. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you.
So that's my best tip for traveling. I hope this background noise is okay. The headphones have stopped working.
Yes, well, we'll be done very soon. I think it's so lovely as well that you have actually done this trip with kids. I know you planned it pre-kids, but they will remember this and treasure this for forever. Yeah,
I really hope so. Yeah, I really,
I hope
really
you can fit
do.
more in the future too.
We'd like to. We would like travel to be part of our lives, which is, hard to balance with the sustainability thing, obviously. But it's a really important thing to us. And it's just about trying to find ways to do it as sustainably as we can.
Yeah, and doing it slowly, I'm sure, is the key to doing that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Juliet. We'll call it there. Everyone watching, you can go and follow her at The Great Eco Journey. And
that's the one.
Thank you so much for your time. I hope you go ahead and have a wonderful day now. And big thank you to your family for being patient as well.
They're all good. I'm sure they're happy somewhere. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm really excited for this conscious community that you're setting up. I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Oh, I'm very excited. It's all kicking off soon. The doors officially open in October, and there's going to be a little competition at the end of the week too.
Oh, yay! Awesome.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I'll speak to you later.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.